coming up this weekend is an event which I think not a lot of people are going to be talking about, but they should be, because this is going to be kind of insane. They've got a boxing fight, a grappling fight, and also a Muay Thai fight with MMA gloves, a Vale Tudo fight, an MMA fight in a gi, and a Pride Rules fight, all on the same card. It's going to be a madness, man, and to be fair, on this card, I wasn't really just going to go through the whole card and give predictions. I was just going to talk about what the fights are and what the rules are going to be for this fight, because it actually did confuse me a lot. Like, there's a lot to kind of go through and talk about in this one. But the main event of the card is actually a boxing fight between Khalidov, who is a former middleweight and light heavyweight champion for KSW, taking on Tomasz Adamek, who is, I think, a pretty big name in the world of boxing, especially in Poland. I mean, in 2005 and 2008, he won cruiserweight and light heavyweight championships at the world level. I think he took the IBF title and the Ring Magazine title as well, and was the first Polish fighter to do it in boxing. So yes, 2005 and 2008 does indicate that he's not the youngest bloke in the world, and he hasn't fought for 5 years. The last time he fought was actually against Jarrell Miller, who is a pretty big upcoming undefeated boxer who failed quite a few USADA tests, I guess we could say, and he recently fought Daniel Dubois actually in Saudi Arabia and lost that fight on a pretty big card, which I think was headlined by Dmitry Bivol, if I'm not mistaken. But the point is, Tomasz Adamek in his prime was a pretty big deal. He's a pretty well-known boxer. He's fought at the world level, at the highest level, I guess, possible in boxing. And Khalidov, as I said, is a former MMA fighter, or I guess he still is an MMA fighter. He's just a little bit out there in age now, 43 years old, and he's been active. You know, he actually fought relatively recently in the middle of last year, and now he's going to be doing this boxing fight here. I think it's going to be in a cage, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, an interesting fight. You've got a guy who's an MMA fighter being active, and you got Adamek, who's a former pro boxer, who's now 47 years old and hasn't fought for 5 years. It's a hard one. I wasn't really going to do predictions, but I'm just going to kind of lean on the experience of Adamek, but I really could see Khalidov maybe getting a KO. I mean, there's a lot of people picking Khalidov here. It's just an interesting fight, to be honest. Another interesting one is going to be Phil DeFries taking on Josh Barnett in a grappling fight. Grappling fights, to me, I personally have never really gotten behind them too much. I've tried to watch them on UFC Fight Pass when they do those invitational events and the one championship fights. I think like Mikey Musmicki, I've watched one of his fights, which was actually quite good, to be fair. But I watched like a Cade Ruotolo fight against one of their one championship fighters, Reina de Ritter, and I was like, man, like, it's just not for me, to be honest with you. But Phil DeFries is like, no one can beat this guy right now in KSW. It's kind of crazy. I feel like Phil DeFries might need to try and call out Francis Ngannou or something, because this guy's just been on an absolute run, has not lost since 2017, and he's just beating everyone in KSW. They've called up Josh Barnett, who obviously a lot of people will know. He's fought all over the place in the UFC, in Pride, way back in the day, and Affliction back in the day, and he's still going, you know, he's still fighting grappling events. He did fight against Gordon Ryan. He fought in the UFC in 2016 in MMA, been doing some boxing and all sorts of stuff. He's still a good grappler. I mean, he's pretty accomplished. He's 21 wins by sub. But he's taken on Phil DeFries, who is an active fighter right now in KSW. Kind of hard to pick a grappling event since I don't really watch them, but I guess I'll just go with the younger Phil DeFries. And then here we've got a light heavyweight tournament. I believe this might be for the vacant title, because yeah, I think it's for the vacant title. Now we've got a modified Muay Thai bout. I don't actually think it is for the vacant title. They just got a tournament going on that I'm unfamiliar with, because I don't know, maybe I'm not paying too much attention to KSW myself, which is a bit awkward. But anyway, we've got a Muay Thai fight now, and they're not going to be wearing the Muay Thai gloves. They're wearing MMA gloves. So it's going to be a little bit more scrappy. Someone's probably going to get cut open more than they do with their Muay Thai traditional gloves, even though elbows and knees obviously are allowed in Muay Thai and do cut people open a lot. But yeah, we've got a very interesting scrap here in Muay Thai. The fight that I really wanted to talk about is coming up now. We've got the Pride Rules fight with Darko Stosic taking on Mateusz Scheffel. I think Stosic's gonna... I think Stosic has the potential to do some pretty serious damage in this fight here. Mateusz Scheffel has fought in the PFL before. He's honestly a middleweight, in my opinion, that just fights at heavyweight now. He's been KO'd 8 times in his career, and he's been KO'd bad, dude. He got KO'd as well by Capoloza, I believe, who then failed a drug test, but he got KO'd by Capoloza and Ferreira about 3 months between each other, and then 5 months before that got KO'd by Ante Delija. He's been KO'd by Ante Delija twice. Got KO'd by Azamat Murzakanov on the Contender Series. I'm getting a headache talking about this, by the way. He's just been KO'd so many times, and now you're putting him in there with Darko Stosic, who isn't a big heavyweight, to be fair. He's a former light heavyweight, but he's a powerful guy. He's no bum. He's a good fighter, and you're allowing Darko Stosic to go in there without any gloves and be able to knee Scheffel in the head on the ground and kick him in the head on the ground. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that could go wrong. I mean, Pride was around for a while, but I guess there's a pretty big reason why they changed the rules. And I know a lot of people are kind of calling for knees to the ground to be called for, and they are going to be updating the rules hopefully soon. I've made a video on that, but I think for this matchup in particular, I'm a little bit nervous for Scheffel, is all I'll say. And then we've got the Wanna-Fight MMA fight, which is the MMA fight, which is going to be Vale Tudo. I thought they were doing an MMA fight in a gi. Maybe it's this one. This is the MMA fight in a gi, and I think the point of this one is to do like judo versus BJJ or something like that. I think it was kind of the idea behind it. Most people are picking this catchback guy here. I think that was the reason why they're doing the MMA fight in a gi, something like that, probably just to make grappling a bit better. I don't know how much these two are going to really strike, but it's an interesting fight nonetheless. And then you've got the Vale Tudo rules fight here, which is going to be interesting, because Vale Tudo is like no holds barred MMA, I guess. Like, it's no holds bars. I think there's like little to no rules. I think they allow knees and kicks to the head on the ground. I'm pretty sure headbutts are allowed in Vale Tudo. I think they might be allowed in Pride rules as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just another scrap, really, to be honest with you, with little to no rules. It's just KSW Epic for you guys. It's gonna be an event. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What did you think about my kind of, I guess, description of the event, to talk about one of the many MMA fights? I think Ganeko is a fun prospect. It's just a bit of a shame that he was exposed in his last fight. But hey, he's a fun fighter. A lot of first round finishes. Hopefully he gets another one here today. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. This event will be at 1 PM Eastern Time. I think it's on pay-per-view. And yeah, let me know what you think, and let me know if you're going to be watching it. I'll see you guys in the next one.